Yo, this is Fling, and this is your Battle Royale Week 14 first look. All right, so we're going to get into a first look draft on Underdog Fantasy. And right now, though, we are going to start with the Vegas line. So this is courtesy of DFS Army's Domination Station. Their optimizer that they use for DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo. But we like to look at the Vegas lines because this shows us games that we might want to target. Typically, what we're going to look for is teams with a high implied team total, preferably. If we could find a matchup where there's a high game total that looks to be competitive, then maybe this is a game that we are looking to target for stacks. Like we might want to. For example, this game right here with Buffalo, we might want to target Josh Allen, one of his pass catchers, and maybe bring it back with Puka Nacua, for example. So those are things that we typically want to look at right off the bat. That's actually probably the best one on the slate, 49.5 point team total. The Bills, they have that 27 implied team total. And of course, they're going against a Rams team that's got a lot of firepower on the other side. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyren Williams. So this could definitely be a game that we're looking to target. I got to tell you, I think it's actually a pretty good spot for James Cook. The Rams are a team that you could target against the run. They give up 17 yards above average to opposing running backs. So Josh Allen, definitely, Khalil Shakir. Maybe we'll get Kincaid back. We'll have to see. But I think James Cook would be a good spot in this one, and it's definitely a game that you could do bringbacks. Now, a couple other games that stand out to me before we jump in this draft. Philly going against Carolina. This is the best rushing matchup that Saquon Barkley will have all year. Carolina is the worst team in the league against the run. Saquon could absolutely smash in the spot. So Saquon is a guy that we want to target. If you're doing a lot of these Battle Royale drafts, I'm picking him every chance I get. I'm guessing, I haven't jumped into one of these yet, but I'm guessing he's going to go first overall almost every draft. So he's a good spot. A potential direct leverage spot is maybe we attack it through the air this week. Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown, for example. It's such a good, obvious spot for Saquon Barkley. What is the path that he fails? Maybe he gets hurt. Maybe he has a good game, but A.J. Brown gets all the touchdowns. He gets a couple bombs and, finishes with 2 touchdowns. So it's not a bad matchup for the passing game either. So that would be a good possible leverage spot. On the other side, I don't really think you need to bring it back. It's a tough matchup for Carolina going against Philly defense. So I'm probably avoiding that. Game next to it, here in the game tiles, we got Minnesota going against Atlanta. Now, Justin Herbert failed last week, but this is actually a really good spot for opposing quarterbacks. So I like Darnold this week. I think he's a guy that you could get late. You could stack him with Hawkinson, the tight end even late. Obviously, you could target Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, maybe do double stacks. So what I like here is if, you start with a running back and then maybe you can get Jefferson in the second round. We'll see. And then, you can come back later and get Addison or Hawkinson and do a double stack with Darnold as a guy that you can get late. Atlanta is a pretty decent passing matchup, and we obviously like that high implied team total. So a couple other spots that, I'm going to be looking to target. We got a 46-point game total. Tampa going against the Raiders. This one has shootout potential to me. Here's why. Tampa, they score 27. They average 27.9 points per game, and they're going against a Las Vegas team that allows that many points per game. So I love Baker stacks this week. I love Bucky Irving. It's a good matchup for him. Bucky Irving is just exploded on the scene. So he could definitely be a guy. If you start with that elite running back, you start with Saquon Barkley or, Alvin Kamara, for example, Bucky would be a great guy to pair with him going against, Las Vegas team that better attack through the air, but they're just poor all around and give up a lot of points per game. So love Bucky in this spot. Now, we saw Miami and Tua Tua, Waddle, Jonnu, they've all been a part of the offense the past few weeks. This is a decent matchup for Miami, the 25.5-point team total. So Tua stacks, I think those are stacks that you could target late. They don't really jump off the screen. So that would be one I would be looking to target later in the draft. Not a terrible spot for Devin Achane. You can run against the Jets for sure. And, he's been very dependable. So you can play him as well there. Now, Kamara, this next one, Kamara, I like him this week. Taysom Hill is out. And whenever Kamara has his best games, his ceiling games, is because Taysom is not going to vulture touchdowns near the goal line. So this is a good spot for Kamara. He's also going to get a lot of dump offs because they also lost one of their pass catchers. I believe Taysom got like 7 targets last week. So I expect a lot more dump offs, and he could potentially, get back to his getting into the end zone, getting carries near the goal line, not being vultured by Taysom. So this is a good spot, specifically against a Giants team that is good, against the pass overall. Like that's their strong point. So they're better attacked on the ground. So I think this is a good spot for Kamara this week. And another really good spot, obviously, is going to be Isaiah. I think it's Isaiah Garendo. Mason went on IR. Christian McCaffrey is on IR. They have a 24-point implied team total. And it's a decent matchup against a Chicago team that gives up 11 yards above average to opposing running back. So I love him here. I'm interested to see where he's going in drafts. I know like in DFS contests like DraftKings and FanDuel, he's going to be chalk. We'll see where he's going in drafts. In fact, we're about to hop into one here. And I love that the Dog Bowl this week, they brought it back $40K to first, $7 entry. And looks like this draft starts in 50 seconds here. So, we'll kind of look at this real quick one more time. Now, I'm probably not going to be able, I'm definitely not getting Christian, not getting Saquon Barkley. So, I'm going to have to look at some other running backs that I might want. If Achane makes it to me, I would be okay taking him there. Bijan, it's not a bad spot. Going against Atlanta or Minnesota. And I'll tell you what, Kirk Cousins is so cooked that they may just continue to dump off to him. Like, he had no velocity on the ball last week. He just looked terrible. So there's a couple of ways I can go with this. 5, I'm picking 5th. Obviously, Saquon's going to be gone. Kamara's going to be gone. Maybe Achane will be there. If not, I can go right away for that Saquon Barkley leverage here with A.J. Brown. We'll see how it goes. So Barkley went first. I'm guessing Kamara will go second, but sometimes you never know what's going to happen. You get someone in here with a wild hair, and they may go like Bijan Robinson second here, or Josh Allen. They'll just take him right off the board. So he took Kamara, and looks like he just auto picked. Really how you go in the first round kind of sets up what you're going to do in the rest of the draft. If I go A.J. Brown, I could certainly stack him, but I won't force it. I like to get a running back with one of my first 2 picks, specifically when I'm picking on the ends, just because it's very hard to predict, who's going next. So this is a tough call, really tough call here. I think I'm going to take A.J. Brown. I think I'm going to bypass Bijan. If Bijan's gone, I'm not going to reach. I'm going to wait and probably get another wide receiver like Justin Jefferson, and then I could stack him with Sam Darnold. We'll see how this goes. So Justin Jefferson just went. Do I take Jalen Hurts? I'm less likely to take Jalen Hurts unless I can get Mike Evans. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take Mike Evans, and that way I can queue up both Jalen Hurts and Baker. If Jalen Hurts is there when it comes back around, I would take him. I don't suspect he will be. He could be. We'll see. And I would take him. Otherwise, I'd be perfectly fine taking Baker Mayfield and stacking him with Mike Evans here. I can also I'm not sure Bucky will be there. Kyron could be there. Like I said, I like James Cook, so I definitely need to get a running back here. There's Garendo. I can get him. He would definitely be a guy I could get, at 20. I don't think he'll be there at 29. Depending on how the draft goes, we kind of got to see. So Jalen Hurts is already gone. So, pretty much have to stack Evans with Baker Mayfield. And that's how these drafts always go. If a guy, Jalen Hurts, he is typically going to go early just because of his rushing floor. So, people are less likely to want to need to force the stack with him. But what I found from looking back at Battle Royale winners for the first half of the season plus is you typically want to wait on your quarterback. Fourth round or later. There was only one time out of like 12 weeks when someone had taken the quarterback in the first 3 rounds. And it was actually the third round. And every other time it had been the fourth round or later. So I typically like to wait. Now, two running backs. We haven't seen a lot of running backs. So Bucky Irving might even make it back to me. No, he was taken. Where did he go? Okay, he went. Kyron's going to be there. James Cook. I think I like the matchup for James Cook a little better. Like I said, you typically want to target favorite teams. Now, James Cook just went. Tough decisions. I think the play is take Kyron here. And then I can stack him up with Garendo. We can look at tight ends. I can maybe do a double with Baker and Kate Otten. It looks like Garendo went there. So, I'm not going to force a running back there that I don't want to take there. I'm going to go ahead and take Jonnu. And that also opens up later on in the draft. If I get sniped on Baker, I can take Tua, potentially stack him up there because either or I want a pocket passer stacked with their wide receiver. And whether that's Evans with Mayfield or Jonnu with Tua, that's definitely the way I want to go there. And, I could start looking at some of these other running backs that are being overlooked a little bit here. Tennessee, Pollard's got a good matchup this week. I could potentially take Pollard. Aaron Jones, not a bad matchup against Atlanta. Najee Harris has a good matchup. So it looks like Tua just went unstacked. I'm guessing he's going to stack him with Waddle. This guy took three wide receivers. So wide receiver in the flex for him, only one running back. Still needs to take a quarterback. Guessing this will be a wide receiver here because he's already got 2 running backs. Probably stack him with Waddle, I would assume. DJ Moore. Okay. Interesting. Pollard. There went Pollard. Really tough day for for waiting on the running back. But I think what I'll do is I'll just take Najee there. And he's already taken 2 running backs. So what I'll do is I'll take Baker and then I'll come back around and take Najee. And overall, I think that draft, he took Amari Cooper. Perfect. This has kind of gone how I could take Aaron Jones. That's a tough decision. Who will project better? But, overall, I think this draft's kind of gone how I wanted it to. I got my direct leverage with AJ Brown. I got Mike Evans in a really good spot. And I want to take Aaron Jones versus Atlanta. I'm going to take Najee here. I really think that the Steelers could potentially style on Cleveland, and it's a better matchup. Pittsburgh has the better matchup, much better matchup than Minnesota. So it's a good matchup there to pair him with Kyron Williams. Like I said, the Baker Mayfield, I like the Baker Mayfield to Mike Evans stack because the Raiders team is one that you definitely want to target through the air. They give up a lot of points. It's an explosion spot potentially. Jonnu Smith has had a great year. And AJ Brown, like I said, everyone is going to be taking Saquon Barkley with the first overall pick. The fastest way to leverage the field is AJ Brown has a great week, gets all the touchdowns, and all the Saquon Barkley lineups fail. So that's a great way to leverage myself up the top leaderboards. Got heavy hitters at wide receiver. I think you got a pretty good floor here with the running backs, and we know Kyron Williams has a great ceiling. Jonnu Smith has honestly been one of the best tight ends this year, so pretty decent first look drafts. This week, this will actually be the last content I will be dropping this week, as I will be traveling, so we'll not be doing any other content this week. But if you like this kind of content, let me know. Hit that like button, comment, let me know who you're getting in drafts. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And, stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed because I got a lot more content coming your way. Underdog Fantasy, playoffs, best ball. I'm going to be covering that, how to attack it. Also, we are going to do the Drafters playoffs best ball because I did that one last year. Had a really fun sweat, and it's a really fun contest. So we're going to do that one as well. So we will see you next.